This is Democracy Watch. Mark, we have an update here as far as Kash Patel is concerned. So there is a woman named Olivia Troy. She was a former White House Homeland Security advisor. She worked in the Trump White House. She was an advisor in Mike Pence's office. She took to Twitter and wrote, "Kash Patel sent a letter to my counsel threatening legal action and demanding that I retract my comments on MSNBC about his unfitness to serve as FBI director. This aligns with his threats against the media and political opponents, revealing how he might conduct himself if confirmed in the role. I stand by my statements. My priority remains the safety and security of the American people. I'm not the only one who's expressed concerns about him, so why me?" And so it begins. So first off, what does this say more broadly about the way that Kash Patel would comport himself if he's confirmed as FBI director?
So look, I think this is the big story, right? I mean, you can get lost in the back and forth about what he did or didn't do and what she said or what she didn't said. But the real takeaway here is that here is a guy who, has a background in making statements that have caused real concern. He has suggested that there may need to be efforts to go after the media. He has written weird children's books in which Donald Trump is the king and he is apparently a wizard. To be clear, I haven't read his children's books, but and he is a regular guest on Steve Bannon's show, which is not the normal profile of someone to head the nation's law enforcement agency. And it is a particularly concerning thing because he has proven himself over time and through his statements and his actions as someone who apparently is very, very loyal to Donald Trump. Well, what does Donald Trump want? Donald Trump has said that he wants to take revenge against his enemies. He will be the vengeance of his political supporters. And so when you see that he then puts for nomination a guy who has made statements that suggest that there are enemies. He's wrote a book that suggests there are enemies. He has, by category and by name, it causes a lot of concern. I mean, he told Steve Bannon that I am an enemy of the Republican Party because I win in court a lot. And, he has it on, it's on video. You can take a look.
He is the enemy of the Republican Party because he always finds a way to win in state court and federal court on election matters. And he has been doing it like a machine for the last decade. So if you want someone who's that talented and that good, there's only one guy, and I hate to say it, it's Marc Elias. And if we could somehow get him on the team, of course he's never going to come over. But that would be something we don't
he's an evil
have.
Genius. I don't know. I don't say that.
I mean, I suppose I should be thrilled that at least he says that, I'm an enemy because I win. But still, I mean, this is not the normal behavior of someone who you want to be in a position that was created in order to prevent partisan politics from being involved. I mean, the FBI director is appointed for a 10-year term on purpose. It is to insulate that person from politics. So I think everyone who cares about rule of law, everyone who cares about government on the merits should be very, very concerned about Kash Patel as a nominee.
Mark, if Kash Patel is looking already to engage in litigation as a private citizen, what does that say about what he would do with the levers of the FBI behind him if he does get confirmed?
Right. That's, of course, what the concern that Olivia is
voicing
expressing
here,
here, right? And understandably so. I mean, here is a guy who right now is willing to hire private counsel to send this letter and potentially to litigate. Well, what does it mean when Donald Trump is in office? And now Kash Patel has the FBI at his disposal. The FBI has a hand-in-glove relationship, obviously, with the federal prosecutors that they work with. Like, what does it mean for a woman who was a prominent Trump appointee or served in the Trump administration, became a never-Trumper, an outspoken critic, and that now she's getting these kinds of letters? Well, what is she to expect when Donald Trump, who is a vengeful figure, is in the Oval Office, and Kash Patel is at the FBI? And let's not forget, Donald Trump appointed Matt Gaetz to be the Attorney General. Same vein, he got replaced. Pam Bondi is now in that slot, more palatable, but also an election denier, right, who is a longtime Trump loyalist. So I understand. Look, I understand as well as anyone the power of the federal government, and I understand the risks that Olivia is taking. My message to everyone is that we need more people showing the kind of courage she does. We need fewer people showing the kind of lack of courage that we see from billionaires who own newspapers, from hosts of prominent TV shows that are going down to Mar-a-Lago to kiss the ring. We need more Olivia Troys.
Well, I know one outlet in particular that has shown that courage is yours, is Democracy Docket. So for those who are watching right now, to support the invaluable work that Marc and his team are doing, please make sure to sign up for Democracy Docket. I'll put the link right here on the screen and also in the post description of this video. Marc, what does it say about Republicans' purported adherence to their First Amendment rights that every chance they get, they want to turn around and sue somebody for something that they said, while at the same time beating their chest as these staunch defenders of the First Amendment?
Yeah, I mean, if you wanted to start with the list of things that Republicans are hypocritical on, it'd be hard to know where to start. But a good place to start would be this. I mean, let's remember, Elon Musk bought Twitter after the Republicans and conservatives made this big to-do that because Twitter had content moderation against right-wing extremism and people who were spreading disinformation, that somehow First Amendment was being violated. They did the Twitter files. They released all this stuff. Well, look at Twitter today. Look at what Twitter has turned in today. And then you have people, like you said, like Kash Patel, who, claim they're big First Amendment adherents. And where is the Republican establishment saying, oh, no, you're a nominee for high office. I'm a U.S. senator. I'm a Republican senator. I'm committed, Mr. Patel, to free expression. And politics is rough and tumble. And you really should bend over backwards to not create an appearance of even unfairness. I mean, they're nowhere. Those Republican senators, you know where they are? They're hiding. There are only two kinds of Republicans in office today. There is Proud MAGA and Scared MAGA. And the House of Representatives is the Republican conference in the House of Representatives is 80% Proud MAGA, 20% Scared MAGA. The U.S. Senate conference is 20% Proud MAGA and 80% Scared MAGA. So all these blind quotes of Republican senators don't mean anything. See how many of them are willing to say on the record what they say privately.
Well, to that exact point, we have seen a number of Republicans, even in private, come out and speak up against Pete Hegseth, for example. But we haven't seen the same unwillingness toward Kash Patel as we've seen toward some of the more, vocal Trump nominees, toward Matt Gaetz, for example, toward someone like Pete Hegseth right now. What does it say that even in private, where these people are otherwise willing to say, like, oh, I'm very concerned about this person, a la Susan Collins, even in private, these people aren't really showing an unwillingness to have somebody like Kash Patel in office on the Republican side?
Yeah, look, I mean, I think you pointed this out actually on Blue Sky, but, at the point that you've got your mother calling Republican senators to say that you are tough enough to be the...
to lead the Pentagon?
To lead the Pentagon. Like, the Hegseth's in a whole other category by himself. I mean, He has dug himself several holes here, and I don't think enlisting his mother as a character witness was really the power move that perhaps he thought it was. Yeah. But look, Patel falls within what they would consider to be the mainstream of acceptable. I mean, he's no more extreme than Donald Trump is, right? So, like, if Donald Trump is saying, I will sue my adversaries, which he has, to try to use the civil system to for defamation and other things, and I will use official power to engage in retribution. If Donald Trump is saying that, like, how could Republican senators object to any nominee who is potentially going to be criticized for the same thing? And so what's different about Hegseth is Donald Trump doesn't drink. I think that this has been an overlooked fact. I mean, Donald Trump doesn't drink. So Donald Trump, like, the whole, allegations involving sexual misconduct, you notice that never gets very far with Donald Trump.
Right.
The allegations of drinking may be the thing that even his mother can't get him out of.
Right. All of the vices that Donald Trump shares you're absolved of accountability for those things. But as soon as it's something that Donald Trump himself isn't guilty of, then it becomes fair game for Republicans, because then the hypocrisy doesn't apply in the same way. So, of course, to your exact point earlier, you have been beating this drum in terms of, like, what to expect as it relates to Trump's nominees, and especially somebody like Kash Patel. So for those who are watching right now, to support Marc's work, to support this outlet that he founded to focus on everything voting and elections, which has been picking up the slack where legacy media has been falling off, please make sure to sign up for Democracy Docket. Again, I'll put the link right here on the screen and also in the post description of this video. I'm Brian Tyler Cohen.
I'm Marc Elias.
This is Democracy Watch.